Hi, I'm your insider sister, coming to you straight from the Philippines. Today, we are going behind closed doors into a space where most of you think you've already figured everything out. But let me tell you something right now. You are probably failing and you don't even know it. Most of you men over 60 arrive here thinking that once that bedroom door is locked, the Western rules of intimacy apply. You think your blue passport or your bank balance bought you a free pass from our cultural complexity. It didn't. In fact, what you do or what you fail to do in those private moments determines exactly how she labels you in her mind. Are you her mahal, the man she truly loves and respects? Or are you just another transaction, a human ATM she has to tolerate until the sun comes up? If you are tired of women going cold the next day, or suddenly having a family emergency that requires $1,000, listen closely. This isn't about what you see in movies. This is about the survival of your dignity and your peace of mind. I'm giving you the 9 unspoken rules of the Filipino bedroom that no one else has the guts to tell you. If you break these, you're just a customer, and trust me, the guilt tax you will pay tomorrow will be incredibly high. But if you master them, you'll unlock a level of loyalty you've never experienced. Your happiness and your retirement fund depend on these next few minutes. Don't say I didn't warn you. Let's be real for a moment. You didn't fly 10,000 miles just for the mangoes and the sunshine. You're here because back home, the air has started to feel thin. You've spent decades working, building, and sacrificing, only to find yourself in a society that looks right through you. To them, you're just too old, too traditional, or just another face in a crowd that has forgotten how to respect a man's experience. Then you see the ads. Smiling girls, white sand, and the promise of a woman who will treat you like the king you actually are. So, you put on those vacation goggles and land in Manila, thinking you finally found the shortcut to the happiness you've earned. But here's the cold, hard truth that most travel vloggers are too scared to tell you. That paradise is often a carefully constructed stage. For many of the girls you meet on those apps, romance is a luxury their families can't afford, so they trade in the next best thing, the illusion of it. Behind that sweet, "Good morning, Mahal" text is often a girl under immense pressure from a dozen relatives who see her as the sole solution to their poverty. To her, in the beginning, you aren't just a partner. You are a career path, a medical insurance policy, and a ticket out of the rice fields. It's a brutal, high-stakes marketplace where your Western kindness is often misread as a weakness to be exploited. But please, listen to me. It is not your fault. You are a man of integrity. You come from a world where a handshake means something, and intimacy is built on mutual honesty. You aren't naive for believing her. You're just a good man playing a high-stakes game where no one gave you the rule book. I know the sting of that cold silence when the help stops. I know the weight of the loneliness that brought you here. You've been through enough, and you deserve more than a guilt tax and a fake smile. You're here because you want something real, and I'm going to make sure you get it by stripping away the fantasy and arming you with the reality. We're going to stop you from being a target and start making you the man who truly commands the room. To understand how to navigate those private hours, you need to stop thinking of the bedroom as a private playground and start seeing it as a family temple. In the West, you're used to the Vegas mindset. The idea that what happens behind closed doors stays there. You see it as a vacuum, a private bubble where you can leave the world behind. But in the Philippines, there is no such thing as a private bubble. Even when the bolt is slid shut and the curtains are drawn, a Filipina is never truly alone with you. She brings her grandmother's whispers, her priest's warnings, and the crushing weight of hiya, our word for a deep, soul-level modesty and shame, into that room. Think of yourself not as a customer at a theme park, but as an honored guest in a sacred temple. If a tourist walks into a temple with muddy boots, shouting and taking flash photos, he's seen as a disrespectful intruder. He might get what he came for, a quick look at the altar, but the guardians of that temple will want him gone the moment he's finished. That is exactly how many of you act without even realizing it. You bring your Western boots into our most sensitive cultural space. However, if you enter like a devotee, someone who understands that every movement is a ritual and every gesture has a price, you are treated with a level of care that borders on the divine. You aren't just visiting the jungle, you are being initiated into her world. The difference between a man who is merely serviced and a man who is truly worshipped lies in whether he recognizes the invisible audience standing in the corners of the room. If you treat the ceremony like a common transaction, you'll always pay the tourist tax. But if you follow the temple protocol, you become the deity she will protect for the rest of her life. Now, let's get down to the brass tacks. If you want to stop being a walking wallet and start being a man who is truly desired, you need to follow the protocol. These are the 9 unspoken rules of the Filipina bedroom, and ignoring them is the fastest way to trigger a financial emergency the next morning. Rule number 1. The pre-ceremony refreshment. In the West, you might think a little musk from a long day is masculine. In the Philippines, it is a crime. We are a culture obsessed with hygiene, specifically the tabo or the wash-up culture. If you try to initiate the act without a fresh shower, she isn't thinking about how rugged you are. She is thinking about how much she wants the session to end so she can go scrub herself. To her, a dirty man is a disrespectful man. It signals that you don't value the temple you are entering. The fix? Always, and I mean always, take a shower right before things get intimate. Better yet, invite her to join you. It turns a chore into a prelude, and it signals that you respect her space. If you skip this, you're just a sweaty tourist, and the tax she charges for her discomfort will be reflected in her mood tomorrow. Rule number 2. The modesty protocol. You've probably seen those high-intensity Western adult films where everything is bright and performative. Forget all of that. Even the most modern Filipina often carries the ghost of Maria Clara, our cultural icon of the conservative, shy woman. The hidden truth is that she needs to act a bit shy to preserve her dignity in her own eyes. If she is too aggressive or experimental too quickly, she fears you'll judge her as a professional. This is why she wants the lights dim or the blankets up. The fix? Do not demand a performance. Do not ask her to do things you saw on a computer screen if she seems hesitant. Let the connection be soft and gradual. If you rush her or treat her like an actress, she will mentally check out and start counting the minutes until it's over. Rule number 3. The silent observer. This is the one that catches most of you off guard. You're in a hotel or her apartment, things are heating up, and suddenly you notice a rosary hanging on the bedpost, or a statue of the Virgin Mary staring right at you. For a Western man, it's just decor. For her, it's a source of haya, deep spiritual shame. Doing the act while the Holy Mother is watching creates a genuine psychological block. She isn't being weird. She is feeling judged by her ancestors. The fix? If you see a religious icon, respectfully notice if she wants to turn it around or cover it. Don't mock it. Don't make a joke about it. By respecting her silent observer, you show her that you aren't just there to visit the jungle, but that you actually understand the soul of the woman you're with. Rule number 4, the sacred buffer. This is where most of you lose your shirt. Never, under any circumstances, talk about money, allowances, or her family's bills while you are in that room. The moment you mention a transaction while the clothes are off, you have officially turned yourself into a client. Even if you are helping her financially, bringing it up in the bedroom kills the Mahal fantasy and replaces it with the ATM reality. If she feels like a service provider, she will start acting like one, which means the price of her service is about to go way up. The fix? Keep business and bed in separate zip codes. If you need to discuss the help you're providing, do it at dinner or via text later. The bedroom is for connection only. Speaking of keeping things professional and protected, this is exactly the kind of deep dive strategy we discuss in my private circle. If you're tired of guessing what's going on in her head and you want a direct line to the truth, you need to join our private newsletter. I share the insider secrets there that are too raw for the public algorithm. It's your survival guide for the Philippines. Check the link in the description, sign up, and let's get back to the rules. Rule number 5, the soul sink. If you finish and immediately roll over to snore like a chainsaw, you have just failed the most important test. To a Filipina, the aftertalk, or kwentuhan, is where the relationship is actually sealed. If you fall asleep instantly, she feels like a disposable object you just used to wash the car. This is when the morning after bill starts to calculate in her head. The fix? Stay awake for at least 15 minutes. Hold her. Ask about her childhood or her favorite food. Anything except her problems. This soul sink is what separates the kings from the customers. Rule number 6, restoring the vitality. A Filipina sees herself as a caregiver. If you have a small snack, some local fruit, or even just a bottle of water ready for her afterward, you are signaling that you are a provider. It shows you aren't just a taker who got what he wanted and checked out. The fix? Have some mangoes or cold water nearby. This small pasalubong of care proves you are thinking about her well-being, not just your own release. Rule number 7, the ego mirror. We are a very onion-skinned culture, meaning we are incredibly sensitive to criticism. If you start giving her performance feedback or critiquing her body, she will shut down forever. She won't argue, she will just stop being available. The fix? Use positive reinforcement only. If you want her to try something new, frame it as a special secret we can explore together, not as something she is missing. Rule number 8, the digital tether. You might think it's rude when her phone pings during a private moment. But remember, her family is her life. If she looks at a text, it's likely a check-in from a nosy auntie or a mother. The fix? Don't get angry. Give her 60 seconds to silence the world. If you act like a controlling old man, you become a villain. If you stay calm, you become her peaceful escape. Rule number 9, the emotional insurance. The most dangerous time for your retirement fund is the morning after. If she wakes up feeling used or ignored, the guilt tax arrives in the form of a sick carabao or a broken roof story. She is subconsciously trying to regain the power she lost. The fix? Treat her with extra tenderness the next morning. Make the coffee. Give her a genuine compliment that has nothing to do with her body. This emotional insurance is cheaper than any emergency she could invent. If she feels like a queen in the morning, she won't need to act like a collector by noon. Trust me, a little kindness at 8 a.m. saves you thousands by 8 p.m. Now, I need to tell you the most uncomfortable truth of all. Everything we just discussed, the hygiene, the aftertalk, the little snacks, is just the map. But the map is not the territory. The real 9th rule, the one that actually determines if you leave this country with your heart intact or your bank account empty, is the rule of the exit. In your Western world, intimacy is often just a casual handshake between two consenting adults. But here, the moment that bolt slides back and you step out into the hallway, a contract has been signed in her mind. To her, the bedroom is the seal of commitment. It's the moment the vetting process ends and the wifehood protocol begins. If you act like a king under the sheets, but treat her like a temporary distraction the moment you walk out the door, you haven't just broken a rule, you have committed a cultural crime. The most dangerous predator in the Philippines isn't a girl looking for your wallet. It's your own ego telling you that you can buy the devotion of a queen for the price of a tourist's curiosity. If you aren't ready for the gravity of that seal, if you aren't prepared to carry the weight of her world on your shoulders, then stay in your hotel room alone. A man who uses the ceremony to trick a girl into believing he is her mahal when he is really just a traveler is the ultimate scammer. You've spent 60 years building your reputation. Don't trade your soul for a few hours of feeling young again. The truth is brutal. You can't fake a future to get a night of pleasure without the universe eventually sending you the bill. I know I've just dragged you through the mud with these warnings. It might feel like the path to love is a minefield, but I didn't tell you this to make you give up. I told you this to make you bulletproof. The truth is, despite the scams and the guilt taxes, the Philippines is still the most beautiful place on earth for a man like you to find his soulmate. There are millions of women here, honest, hardworking, and incredibly sweet, who are literally praying for a man with your maturity. You think 60 is old? In her eyes, 60 is the gold standard. You have the stability, the life experience, and the calmness that a 20-year-old boy simply cannot offer. You aren't just some old guy. You are a king who finally knows how to rule his kingdom. You've worked your whole life to reach this peak, and you deserve a queen who sees your silver hair as a crown, not a countdown. Now that you know where the holes in the road are, you can drive with your head held high. Real, deep, cross-cultural love happens here every single day for men who are patient and smart. Because you're listening to me, you are already ahead of 99% of the other guys. Your happiness isn't just possible, it's waiting for you. Stay strong, because you are exactly what a good woman is looking for. So, there it is, the 9 unspoken keys to the temple. I want to know, which of these rules hit home for you? Or have you already felt that morning after guilt tax without knowing why? Tell me your story in the comments. Let's keep this brotherhood sharp. My mission is simple: to make the world a little less lonely and ensure that good men like you finally get the respect you've earned. If this talk saved you a headache or a few $1,000s, consider supporting my work. You can buy me a bucket of spicy Jollibee Chicken Joy or a cold bottle of San Miguel Pale Pilsen to help me keep these truths coming. It really means the world to a girl like me over here. Until next time, keep your head up and your heart protected. Good luck and ingat!